And
I've got something for you to get excited about, and that
God,
is
it's not
the
possible.
numbers that just came out of Target and Walmart. Target just reported that they made over $1 billion in Q3, which is a 46% year-over-year spike in their third quarter profits. They attribute most of this to increased growth in digital sales and same-day services. Holy cow, that's astronomical. Also, we saw from Walmart that their e-commerce sales also grew 79%, strong results across all channels, and helped boost same-store sales and profit margins. Guys, we talked about this at the beginning. I'm going post-pandemic, what's happening here, because I think that while these numbers are banner numbers for both companies, this is great. They're all executing really well on the one-stop shop during a pandemic. How much of this is going to stick, and how much of this is going to change as the pandemic ends, we have a vaccine, and behaviors start to shift? Curious your thoughts. Chris, why don't you start?
Oh, okay. Yeah. I mean, first of all, these numbers are just, I mean, they're redonkulous. Like
Bananas.
I'm looking out my window now and I almost want to see like a pack of like 10 donkeys just run by me, because like, you just can't even believe how
Is
insane.
that a play on Redonkulous?
It was, yeah, it was a play.
Ooh.
Yeah. Literal donkeys running through my window. But you know, the numbers are ridiculous, and kudos to both companies for just being able to pull this off to the degree that they have. I mean, it's really crazy. I looked at Target stock price. I just cannot believe how insanely high it is now relative to where it was like 2 or 3 years ago. But I don't know. I think you hit on it, Ann. I mean, the takeaways for me on the stories this week, and I think it is important, very important, probably the most important story we're going to do. It tells me, one, same day when you start talking about grocery really matters. We've seen a lot of research on that. And I think you could tell that's why Amazon is going into physical retail. But same day matters. And that can't always be done through shipping like we talked about. Again, it's about availability. And Walmart and Target are well positioned for that. But the other element, the second tier of it, is the one-stop shop. And so under COVID, it's showing just how important that is, because you're not going to want to go spend a lot of time in different places. You don't have the time to spend in a lot of places. And I think those two factors, the one-stop shop, the same day availability across all the different fulfillment types, that's not going anywhere. So you talked about, what's going to change after COVID. I think that's still here to stay. So these two are really, I think, still very well positioned for the long haul when you look at the landscape. The only question I have is, what does it mean for the in-store experience, right? Like, how is the in-store experience changing digitally, and what else is to come there? As you start talking about computer vision, scan and go, checkout free, Walmart's been, ahead on some of those angles, relatively speaking, to Target. And, that there's still a space for somebody to come in there and do something, around like the one-stop shop reimagination. We're going to probably get to that on the digital side a little bit here, but that's the one thing. But I think, God, that's going to take years, and these guys are incredibly well positioned.
Emma, what about you? Are you all in forever and always on the same day pickup and online versions from Walmart and Target?
I think I personally am going to be on that boat for the rest of my life, but I don't see, like, I definitely think that those numbers are going to drop off once people really feel safe going back into a store. I think I'm like the minority in that.
What if anything is getting you inside a Target or Walmart now and post-pandemic?
A lot of times Targets, I haven't shopped at Walmart in forever, but a lot of times Target's fridges are full, so you can't get any like fresh produce or anything cold. So that's the only thing that gets me to actually go in the store.
For same day pickup, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, which we have to believe will improve over time, I would imagine, as they're seeing this increase. We've even seen it, I think, in some of our local stores here, just how they've continued to improve the process.
I think the other angle here too, Ann, is like, I'm even shorter on malls. We're going to touch on this on the end, but like, I think the other thing too is you start talking about the one-stop shop, same day availability, different fulfillment types. Again, with malls going away and those not being as needed for people, where do the brands that are inside those malls go? Where do they get their points of distribution? Where, what channels do they start to take advantage of? And you have to think, Ulta may be the first kind of indication of this last week, just going to see more of that. So I don't know. It feels like the beachhead is really, really strong.
Yeah, I mean, we've even talked about this, Chris, with listener Dana, about like what is the definition of a department store anymore? I mean, it used to be the one-stop shop for apparel, for home goods, for all these things, and now you're starting to see, like to your point, I think Walmart and Target starting to fill those gaps, and at a price point that's not, so crazy and attainable for people, especially when people are have money to spend right now in very limited places, not entertainment, not dining, like all of their spending is and can happening. They're treating themselves in these types of places.
Yeah, and I think and we'll get to this, I think, in story 4, but like, yeah, over the next, I'd say 3 to 5 years, what is the digital manifestation of the one-stop shop, and where do we go? Do we still by default go to a Target or a Walmart like everyone in the pandemic is seemingly doing right now? Or is there someplace else we go?